Yo, people, lateness is greatness. Welcome back into the building. You already know what time it is. It's time for the London Club's Carnage show. I didn't want to keep you waiting any longer. Lee, the diva, is parking up. Do you know what I'm saying? So he's going to be arriving soon in a couple of minutes max. He's incoming now. But I thought, listen, let's kick off the show. Let's get it going immediately because, you know, we got a special guest. Do you know what I'm saying? Toby's replacement for today. Fuad is in the building. And it's good timing because we've obviously got Tottenham later. So, you know, we already know what Fuad's on. Fuad's going to bring some carnage to the show. He don't play games, you know what I'm saying? He's going to fit right in. He's well at home here. Fuad, bro, how are you doing today?
All good, bro. All good. Obviously, a little tense this morning. Big game this evening. Our entire silverware helps on the line, should we say. But yeah, look forward to it. Appreciate the invite, of course. Bit of unfinished business from last night. But yeah, we resume.
Big up, exactly. Yeah, definitely unfinished business from Twitch last night. And Corey, bro, big up to you. Back again. Obviously, just got the win at the weekend. And you know what? This is going to be a brilliant show because I'm looking at the top four race and you guys are all right next to each other, just shrugging shoulders. Like, it's mad. So how are you doing?
I'm good, mate. 7 goals in 2 games. Finally, we've switched back on. So I don't want to get too ahead of myself and start giving it big. And obviously, that's been the case for the past 2 months. And look, I'm happy that we're still in the conversation. I think United dropping points was big. I thought Tottenham were going to drop points. Arsenal dropping points. I thought, hang on a minute, it's going to look nice. But yeah, I'm waiting till it evens itself out. Wait till the games in hand are done and wait till we see where we're at. But yeah, I can't complain, mate. Finally getting back on the winning side of things.
Yeah, and Lee arriving like the Godfather, sunglasses, smoky, love it. Look at it.
Trying to see the vision, Matisse. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to keep the shades on.
Love it, bro. How
can
are
I
you
just
doing?
say, well done to you as well, by the way, getting yourself on Sky Sports. I'm like a proud father.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. It was a madness. It was a very late call. I was streaming with Fuad at the time, and it just popped up, and they were like, "Listen, it's go time." And big shout out to Anita. Can't thank her enough for putting me on, man. She really puts her people on, so I really appreciate her for that. And yeah, it was a mad experience. It was great. The family were buzzing. So big up, man. And yeah, I mean, let's get stuck in immediately because you know we've got some big talking points today. It's difficult to know where to start. I mean, we could also start with obviously Tottenham. You know, their new resurgence under Conte and the fact that they've got 2 games in hand. Obviously, the points matter, but 2 games in hand, if you were to win those or even draw one, I think, and win one, you'd be above Arsenal. Fuad, how are you feeling at the moment? Obviously, feelings going into the Chelsea game with Conte in charge now.
I said this early period under Conte has almost felt like the perfect new manager bounce, to be honest, after kind of disaster class that was Nuno for the first kind of 3 months. He's kind of brought in an identity, to be honest. I think simply switching to the 3 at the back, covering our kind of defensive deficiencies. I think he knows we have a lack of creativity in that midfield, so there's no point plugging it up with 3 players, stick 2 in there who are just going to mop and sweep and then let our width be our actual natural form of creativity. I think the last couple of games as well, one thing you're seeing with the Spurs team is a bit of character. In the Liverpool game, going 1-0 up, conceding 2, then coming back to try and equalise. Previously against Liverpool, we would have capitulated, even to nick the result against Watford. I think we previously don't do that. I mean, Southampton, I thought we could have done a little bit better. But overall, I think an identity and a bit of character, a bit of solidity is what he's brought to us. And then most importantly for me, he's getting more out of Kane than you would have ever thought, because prior to him arriving, I don't even think you would have counted Kane as a member of the Spurs team this season. He was an opposition to the Spurs team. But then since he's come in, you're actually seeing the guy playing in the build-up, making runs that he wasn't doing before. I think he's dropping a lot less, which I'm actually want him to do a little bit more. Get back to that number 9 gunman role that he was really known for. I think last season he evolved his game a little bit, but he's getting a little bit too carried away with it, picking up the ball at left back and right back and all sorts. And I think Conte's just come in, set the principles, gone back to basics, and now we're in January. I said this month is going to be the ultimate acid test. We've got Chelsea 3 times, twice in the semi-final, once in the league, and then we've got a North London derby squeezed in between that as well. So all of this new manager bounce and seeing Winks, Dyer, Sanchez, all these mid guys step up a level. Now we see what you're really about. Now we see if this board is also willing to back Conte, because he signed an 18-month deal, which for me is putting the board on trial, essentially, to say, I've seen how you fumbled about with Jose, who's a great manager. I've seen how you fumbled about with Pochettino, who built this club, basically. Let me see what you do for me now, because I know this squad now. You've seen what I can do within the short 3-4 weeks I've been given. Now let me see what you can give me to add on to that, because I've shown you what I can do. And Conte is a world-class manager. Managers like this don't walk into Spurs every season. So now you've got a gift there. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth is my thing. So we've really got to take this opportunity of having Conte, back him this January, back him this summer, and try and make something of it.
Do you know what? It's mad because you speak about Harry Kane, and he's like a new player for you, isn't he? He's scoring goals. He's getting involved. I think one of his goals were a bit wrongfully, a couple of weeks ago, maybe offside. It looked a little bit harsh on him. But like, he's definitely a guy that can get the most out of very little. But that shouldn't be, for you guys, complacency in the window, which is obviously the point you're making, which is not to take the piss, basically. Do you know what I'm saying? And he was playing the regista role for England. Do you know what I mean? He was dropping back so far. He was almost looking to go behind the goalkeeper at times, but now he's starting to simplify his game, and it is a problem for us tonight. I mean, Corey, I'll come to you next. What do you make of this Tottenham team? Because top four, man, it's looking open.
Yeah, no, it is. I think Tottenham, the appointment of Conte at the time that they brought him in, and just from what I've seen him in particularly against West Ham, they're just so well organised. They're so well drilled. I don't think Tottenham fans will probably disagree. They have a decent squad. They have good enough players there for me to be competing. It's just getting a world-class manager elevates them to that stage. I'm hoping this month they slip up. I really am. I'm hoping that the fixture congestion really hurts them. And that's kind of where, as a West Ham fan, I want to pop in and get a couple of wins against Norwich and Leeds. But he's so good. And Fuad's right in terms of, I genuinely thought they were going to drop points against Watford, but that's what good teams do. They just grind it out, and they get a good set piece, and they take advantage. And there's a lot of players at Spurs that I'm sure those fans will want to get rid of. But listen, Conte knows how to get the best out of players. You'll know that more than most, Matisse, with Victor Moses at right wing back. So unfortunately it will continue. But it's big window. If they don't back him and it starts to fall off a little bit, we know Conte can throw his toys out the pram.
I think that's the one scary thing for Spurs fans, though, is, as you said there, a lot of Spurs fans know these players. They're the same ones that let Pochettino down. They're the same ones that let Jose down. They're the same ones that fumbled under Nuno as well. And now they're having this kind of new manager bounce, if you like. What I don't want is the classic thing that I've seen from the Spurs board, where they're like, oh, Dyer's played 8 solid games, and Sanchez, you know what we'll do? We'll keep them. Don't worry. You've got solid players there. Oh, Harry Winks and Ale, they're having a turnaround now all of a sudden. No. We've seen these men drop the ball many, many times, and it will always happen after January when it's most important. So for me, I'm not buying this new player act and new manager bounce. We've seen what we've seen. I want to see some changes, definitely, for sure.
I mean, Lee, which project excites you more, Tottenham's or Arsenal's?
What a question.
Hey, they got a better manager. I would have loved him at Arsenal. I'd kill to have Conte at Arsenal. Serial winner. Mate, how anyone can make Harry Winks look like Iniesta is just a joke. Like, honestly, he's been quality, man. He has. I agree with what you just said. You can't keep them players going forward. But when he came out the other week, Conte, and said Eric Dyer's one of the best centre backs in the league or something, like, he don't believe the crap he's telling them, but he's getting that mentality of, we're going to make you feel $1 million, and you're going to play your nuts off for 100%. Us. Yeah, and listen, if they beat us next week, then they're above us with 2 games in hand. All of a sudden, we're sat fourth. Oh, fourth is a trophy crap. Is suddenly looking stupid, isn't it? But listen, we're playing well at the minute. We're playing really well, but we ain't beaten Tottenham since 2014 at their ground. And even that game, Rosicky scored a banger in the first minute, and the rest of the game was crap.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say I'm worried about Tottenham, because, like I've said this a million times, I don't see them as rivals. They don't win anything. So I'd rather be rivals with winners like Chelsea or City. Do you know what I mean? But our fans, like, even on protests, our fans sing about Tottenham, mate. It's kind of embarrassing, if I'm honest. And that's
same. We have the same problem, bro. We have the same problem, bro. The Liquidators playing before kickoff, and we're singing "We Hate Tottenham." Tottenham are nowhere in sight.
Mate, we're playing protest against the owner, and they're standing there singing, "What do you think of Tottenham?" It's like, mate, you're there to protest against the owner. Like, and the funniest thing is our fans say that Tottenham are irrelevant and this and that, but then they spend all season talking about Tottenham. It's like, well, you're making them relevant.
You keep us relevant.
Yeah,
I don't know why we give them so much airtime, bro. Why?
don't get it. I don't get it. I'm fuming as well, by the way, because Jurgen Crybaby Klopp has got the game called off tomorrow.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh
mad.
damn!
Yeah.
Oh,
this is the same. This is the same guy, by the way, who sent an under-15 team to play Aston Villa so he could play a Club World Cup. Yeah, he's crying about a couple of cases. Like, the guy's a joke. Absolutely.
Listen, you can come and watch the mighty Chelsea versus Tottenham tonight. That's kicking off. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mate, it's mad. But no, honestly, just to honestly, Conte, you don't even understand how good that guy is, isn't it? Like, Tottenham have had a result with him, and this is why I get the ump with Arsenal, because if Arsenal were a big club or wanted to be seen as a big club, the minute that was linked and he was on his way to Tottenham, we should have binned Arteta, phoned him and said, "You're coming to us, mate." Because if he's going to Tottenham, he's coming to Arsenal. You know, it's like, that's how it is. But we're sticking with Arteta. We've had a couple of good results, and all of a sudden, I'm getting people saying, "Oh, you're eating your words? Oh, this player's this and that player's that." And have you changed your mind on Arteta? No. Compete for a title, mate. You've done £250 million in 2 years.
Yeah. Do you know what it is with Conte as well? Is that the guy is so like dedicated and passionate, especially initially. He's so good at just like almost suffocating the squad and getting them to do exactly what he needs them to do. Like, he's not on no joke thing from the very beginning. But if you, man, don't back him, he will walk out, because Conte's reputation is too big right now to be letting Tottenham like drag it down to a level that we ain't seen before. Like, he's a winner. And that's my thing with Tottenham is it's going to be very interesting to see in this window and in the next one whether they back him. Because I think if they don't back him, he's one of them guys that will be like, all right, cool. Let's see what happens.
He has no reason to be here, let's be honest. Like, for me, I think it's probably the only big club move that we've made in the last 20 years under this ownership. I feel like it was the first time they actually showed some balls and showed some real ambition. But you can't do this almost like PR stunt now of hiring Conte and then not putting in the foundations. It's like having a brand new shiny house with absolutely no furniture inside. Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. And I think the difference with kind of Jose coming in last year and them not backing him really and truly, people say he was backed with 9 players or whatever, but a bunch of low knees and a free signing of Joe Hart, and that ain't going to fool me, mate. Sorry. But with Conte, you're getting a manager who's in his prime, where you feel like maybe Jose was just coming out of his prime after United, after Chelsea, the second run. Conte has now just won the title with Inter. When he took over that Inter team, they were 4th. They were, I don't know, however many points off the title, and they backed him and gave him what he needed to succeed. And you saw what that team became. The second he wasn't getting the backing from a board that he just won the title with, he said, "I'm out." So he's not going to dilly-dally around with his Spurs board if they don't back him this summer or in January.
Sorry to cut you off here. Do you think Levy's the the right guy for Conte then? Because he's got a history of just taking a mick.
Bro, and that's the thing, because in the summer as well, I kept thinking when he came, what changed from the summer? Because you rejected it because we didn't have the finances. But my thing I keep saying with the finances is, one, if you look at the net spend over the last 5 years, we're bottom 5 in the Premier League. We should not be bottom 5 for a club who's competing in the top 6. So essentially, we have that bit of extra FFP cash if the board wanted to put their hand in their own pocket. The other thing for me is a lot of the capital I don't think is going to come from the board. It's going to come from player sales. And that comes from the same deadwood that we've had at this club for the past 4 or 5 years. Guys like Winks, guys like Ali, guys like Sanchez, guys like Doherty. Get rid. Why are they still here? Ben Davis even. I'm sorry. I know he's having a little purple patch. I'm not buying into it. Move them on. There's maybe, I would say, 5 or 6 players you've got there. Højbjerg, Reguilon, Kane, Son. Ndombele, I think, is going to get sold at this point, but he's another one. I would say there's maybe 5 or 6 players that you can actually build the squad around. The rest of that, you can put up for sale. And that's where I think the board need to get moving. And you've got a sporting director there for the first time in however long at this club. Pull your finger out, Paratici. Do something. Make some moves. Offload some players. That's what Arsenal did last year in January when they got rid of Socrates, Mustafi, all of these guys. They started offloading the deadwood. You need to do that as soon as possible.
Yeah, 100%. I'm going to go through some super chats and then we'll resume on this. Rudiger looks likely to renew his contract from Valan. Appreciate the super chat. I think, Rudiger's an interesting one because I thought he was definitely 100% gone. But then obviously now it looks like maybe his agent was using the Real Madrid interest a bit too much and over milking it to try and maybe get drum up some more wages for him. I don't know, at the end of the contract. If Rudiger ends up staying, it's an incredible coup from Chelsea, and considering where we were a couple of weeks ago, where it looked like he was definitely out the door. So if we can keep one centre back, that would be ideal, because then we only need to bring in one and maybe promote Levi Colwell and we're good. So I would absolutely love it if he stayed. That goes without saying. He's been unbelievable, and to be honest, the more time that goes on, I just get more and more impressed with him. He's actually been ridiculously good for Chelsea this year, and obviously now, last year and now coming up to the start of this year. Jan could be the month Conte throws his toys at the pram. It's an interesting one. I think January is a difficult market to look at, and to negotiate in. But I think the summer, that's when things will really heat up. Like he won't be playing games in the summer. I think this is just like a season to just take over, settle himself down, and then the summer he's going to want serious backing, because the man wants to win. He's not interested in this whole top four thing, as Lee always says, like this whole achievement, top four, we got a trophy for finishing top four, entering Champions League. Conte's never been about any of that. He doesn't care. Recent reports say Spurs could spend 400 million and stay under FFP rules, give Conte the backing. Enoch, or fuck off. I don't know if they're going to spend that much, my guy.
For real though, this is the litmus test. If you're a Spurs fan and you're looking at it and you're on the fence about Enoch, if you don't back Conte and you've got a gift horse right there that can take your Champions League, get your domestic cups, that board have failed you. It doesn't matter what you talk about in terms of the stadium. It's glossy, it's nice. They got funny little beer things that fill up from the bottom. I'm sure it's great. But and I'm not going to start digging out stadiums, because listen, we're in a rented stadium with an athletics track. But that's kind of, you need to look at it long term and think this club aren't going to push us forward. If that is the case and they have saved money, God knows how much, they can spend 400 mil, then that board has done a huge disservice. They should have backed Poch at the time. Like, I think anyone would have said that. So.
But in Tottenham not in debt from the stadium as well? No,
but that's the thing. You see that stadium debt? I can't lie to you. The financial plan as to how they're going to repay that, they've done that so smart. And I think what COVID
it's like a mortgage on a house.
Yeah, so and what COVID did is COVID allowed them to even push it back further, the payments. So they don't actually have to restart payments till a couple of years, I think. So for me, it's like you had Pochettino who built the foundations. You didn't back him. You had a world-class manager in Jose who came in, got you to a cup final. You didn't back him, really and truly. What are you waiting for? What are you saving all this money for? What are you accruing this net spend for? Who?
Rainy day, innit?
It makes no sense.
Leave his retirement fund.
Never know, man. The car could break down in the M1, right? And next thing you know, you need 1,000. Do you know what I'm saying? This is what they're on.
This is the thing, though. If you don't back him and he walks, where do you go from there? Because you've then had Jose, you've had Poch, you've had Conte, you've had Nuno. Like,
don't forget Ryan Mason.
Got a job is a disgrace. Like the amount of managers that guy has sacked because of his cock-ups and because of him being, I don't know, just he's the biggest problem at Tottenham.
Even if you go back further than Poch, Redknapp, the job he was doing, got rid of him prematurely to bring in, to go and for the designer trend manager at the time, AVB. How did that blow up in your face? Martin Yole, the job he did there to actually get us to being like a fifth place, trying to be a Champions League club, you sack him half time. So time and time again, Levy's shown that he can recruit the right manager, but he fumbles it always, some way, somehow. So I'm curious to see how he handles this one. He has no excuse not to back him.
Yep, no, 100%. And I mean, this super chat here as well saying, for Lan, really appreciate the support. He's saying opinions on Liverpool game being postponed. I mean, it's a bit. I mean, Lee, you're not impressed, are you, bro? You seem pissed.
This
about
whole
it.
Thing's a load of bollocks anyway. Yeah, it's like, let's be real. You've got an academy for a reason. Use it. Like, no disrespect, but he is the biggest crybaby in the Premier League club.
I did get his point on the whole playing on the 26th and the 28th. I did think that was a bit mad, and I know it's happened before, but I still
who cares? Like, if it was a Champions League game and then he was playing a Club World Cup game, do you think he'd care? But it's because it's a League Cup that he don't care about. Yeah, he's never give a toss about this competition. Yeah, the fact that he put out a whole under 17 team or whatever it was, didn't even turn up to the game himself against Villa, right? And now he's got the audacity to get this game called off. Like, no, I would have told him stick it and put your kids out like you did against Villa, mate. Like, at the end of the day, it's a joke. And these teams are just using this as an excuse now. Like, yeah, there obviously is positive cases. No disrespect, right? There's what? How many people in this squad have got it? Have been tested positive? 4, 5?
They don't have a clear
4 confirmed
parameter for how many players need to be tested positive or how many people in the squad, staff, etc. before it's called off. Like, what is the rule? Because it just seems to be like
13.
I don't know.
13 outfield players available. That's what I thought. So that means you've got half of your squad missing. He ain't got half of his squad missing.
Because I'm pretty sure he's got more players available than we had when we played Wolves.
Yeah.
We had a whole heap of cases and they still said we have to play. But then that
And
game was
now,
on TV.
Is that we've now got the first leg. It's been rescheduled to the 13th. Then we've got Tottenham on the 16th. Then we've got Liverpool second leg on the 20th. Like, they have just totally stitched us.
Yeah.
Literally stitched us. And the thing is, he's got previous, man. Like I said, this guy just cries about everything. Every single the pitch was too wet, or the wind, or the sky was too blue. Like, every excuse. He's such a joker. He is basically Liverpool's equivalent to Ty. He is.
And we fucking love Ty.
Listen, I rate Klopp. I think he's a quality manager. He's just a crybaby, man. And like I said, they ain't got half their squad out. So why has he got this game called off? It's mad. I don't get it.
It's. I think the biggest part, I think, will probably be the goalkeeper situation. Obviously, with Alisson and Kelleher now out, I think he's probably thinking, "Yeah, I've got no goalkeepers." So
Kelleher's
that's a
out.
valid reason.
Bro,
Kelleher's one of those with the new COVID cases as well. So he's pretty much going to have to either play the under-18s goalkeeper, which is, I think, the excuse that he's used to override that outfield players type of thing.
Unless the player is not eligible to play because he's like under 16 or whatever it is, I don't really see the problem. Throw the 18-year-old in goal.
mate, that is the case for every other team. Like, this is what
literally.
The Prem have been so inconsistent in terms of their approach towards it. The biggest one for me is Newcastle. Again, I haven't looked into it, but the minute St. Maximan and Wilson are injured, all of a sudden they can't play a game 2 days later. It's ridiculous. And granted, West Ham have been we've managed our COVID cases quite well, but I mean, when are we going to start throwing it in? Our Zoomers out till February. Sorry, lads, we can't play for another 3-4 weeks.
We got 4 at the AFCON. Sorry, lads, we can't play till February. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, Klopp was the one complaining about something when he was saying something that he was talking about Burnley and international players and things like that. I'm like, that comes with the territory,
that comes with being a big club. If you want to manage Burnley, manage Burnley. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's nuts, mate. It's nuts. And the Prem haven't helped it. They haven't helped it. Now they're down this road of, we've given X amount, 18 days off, or we've given so and so 3 weeks off. Now we've got to give Liverpool time off. Like, that's where we're at. Just hope it clears up, mate. And it's
the only 2 teams I've seen that haven't had a break is us and City. Have Newcastle had one as well now?
Yeah,
sure. They have. Okay, so it's just us and City. It's nuts, honestly. It's like, do you know what? We talk about Premier League seasons being compromised a little bit and having the asterisks around it. Do you see the way this is going now? Like, and the way that you may see it going? Is this another Premier League title or Premier League season that has an asterisk next to it? When you look back on it in history and you say to yourself, that season wasn't quite equal. It wasn't quite like the others. Like, does anybody feel like that?
There's a case. We haven't stopped. We've continued through the whole thing. We've had 3 games back to back each week for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, up to the Carabao Cup. So imagine if we, for whatever reason, said, Antonio's got COVID, we've got a couple of injuries, that's enough. And granted, it probably wouldn't have been the same. We could have had 2 weeks off, and West Ham, all those problems with fatigue would have been gone, and maybe we wouldn't have dropped points. So it does skew it a little bit. I think the only thing is City have been so good. Maybe you can afford them to get away with it. They do deserve to win the league.
And the thing is, as well, you just made a point about injuries, yeah? Right. This is what I'm confused with all this. Like, Klopp's got 3 or 4 players out injured. He's then got Salah and Mane and Keita at the AFCON, right? And now he's got a few cases. And the chat are saying, and I just Googled this as well, because I didn't even know he still played for him. Adrian still plays for Liverpool. So why can't they put him in goal?
Okay.
Yeah. Why can't they put him in goal?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get what the criteria is, because, and listen, I'm not a crybaby Arsenal fan, yeah, but our game at the start of the season, we had COVID cases and injury, against Brentford. Nobody called our game off. So how come certain games are being called off for 3 or 4 cases? Other games it's 10 cases. Other games it's 6. Yeah, it's like, apparently Adrian's injured. Well, play a kid then. Like, at the end of the day, they need to come out and say exactly
how many.
It is. Not only that, do the Premier League or the FA, whoever it is that deals with this, do they actually get a copy and confirmation that they have tested positive, or is it just hearsay?
It's probably just those lateral flow tests that you can just type in the code.
I bet, mate. I bet.
Them brothers are just going on the NHS website and just typing in the code and being like, negative, sorry, positive, positive. Yep, that's it. Positive. Yep, that's the one. Yo, Klopp, you see this? Look at the red line, bro. It's a wrap.
Get a little red pencil, colour it in.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
At the club as well. So they've got 4 goalkeepers at that football club. They can use one. Karius can go in goal.
Oh shit! I forgot he's still there.
Karius is still there. Don't piss me off. Is he still there?
Turkey.
No, he's not. Karius is not there.
Nah, he should be playing then.
Bring that man back from the dead. Bring Gareth Bale back as well.
No, he is. He's still a Liverpool brother. He's only 28.
No, he's not. He's not there. Come on.
There should be no excuse that's called off then.
He has to be on loan, man.
I don't know, but mate, I've just Googled it.
Get Gareth Bale back in this league, bro. I want to see that run up one more time.
He went on loan to Union Berlin last season, but yeah, according to Transfer Market, he's still a Liverpool player at Liverpool.
Mad.
He ain't on loan. That's mad. Yeah,
Valan says Arsenal now face 2 games in the space of 43 hours due to rescheduling of the League Cup and semi-final first leg against Liverpool. Mad.
Yeah, that's Liverpool and Tottenham. Liverpool on that night on the 13th, and then Tottenham.
Which means now you have to sacrifice one of those games, really,
exactly.
Isn't it? Because
and then
there's not enough time.
You got the second leg a couple of days later. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Whereas before you had the FA Cup.
Yeah, we could rest all the players and put some kids out in the FA Cup. Yeah, and then we could have a proper go at the League Cup. A proper go at the Tottenham game.
Yeah,
and then after that, we'd just go back to the Liverpool game. Now, them 2 Liverpool games, it's like you're gonna have to sacrifice one of them, isn't you? Because he's gonna go all out for the Tottenham game. Of course, he is.
I think when we get to that time, we're gonna have to cut some slack for Arteta, Lee.
Hey, listen, I ain't like no slack. He's done £250,000. Yeah, the amount of people that say to me, "Oh yeah, but no other manager would be able to get a title race out of the squad. No other manager would have bought half the players in the squad." Like, no disrespect.
Hey, you're scouting. Can we talk about your scouting? Because you're not impressed.
Marie, brilliant scouting. Well done. Yeah, well done. Cedric Suarez, brilliant scouting. Well done. Yeah, Rob Holding, new deal. Well done. Yeah, but I could continue, mate.
Go on, please. Go ahead.
They're still here.
Go ahead.
Yeah, don't get it twisted. We've signed some good players, but it's a small sample size, and this is what Arsenal fans do. They take a small sample size of a player in good form and make out he's world class. They're not. Yeah, I see this last time. Yeah, I've said this before. It's boring saying it. Yeah, when Petr Cech was in goal for us, he was a calamity, man. So we got Leno in. Leno all of a sudden was the greatest thing since sliced bread. Made the double save against Tottenham. Oh, it's the best save in living history. I think it was Eriksen, was it? I think it was the Eriksen save. Yeah, and then everyone, he's kicking. He's so calm under pressure. Oh, look, no, he was just better than Petr Cech, who was nearly scoring own goals, passing it around the back. Now, we then sell our goalkeeper, Martinez, who was better than all of our goalkeepers, by the way, right? And then we bring in Ramsdale, and Leno's just been carted off to the side. Now, nobody cares about Leno anymore. And now Ramsdale's come in and been absolutely superb. I'm not going to knock him one bit. He's been 10 out of 10. But again, let's see where he is in a year. Because I've seen this with Arsenal, with Leno. I've seen Mustafi come into Arsenal and go 26 games unbeaten as soon as he started his career. Kostafi, what a cringe back 2 that was. Kostafi. All of a sudden, fast forward a couple of years and he's crap. So let's not get carried away with these players having a good run of form at the minute. And like I've said a million times before, irrelevant runs of form that ultimately lead to nothing are exactly that, irrelevant. So unless we win some,
I like that. Irrelevant. I'm not gonna lie. That was a clean sentence. I'm not gonna lie. That might have to be my bio on Instagram.
I agree though. The biggest factor will be consistency. But I think with Arteta, I don't know. I feel like sometimes Arsenal fans are a little too harsh to judge him because personally, the way I see it, he's a rookie. No, the definition of a rookie manager, and he's actually learning on the job. This guy was handing out cones 3 years ago, basically, to Pep. But now he's in charge of basically rebuilding Arsene Wenger's legacy because Unai Emery couldn't quite do the job. So he's essentially had to pick up a transition period, and he's learning within that transition period. And I look at kind of your front line, for example. 18 months ago, every Arsenal fans would have said Pepe, Lacazette, and Aubameyang would have been the front three. And now I look at it, and it's a young core basically of Saka, Smith Rowe, Odegaard, and Martinelli. And I'm thinking, all right, that can work. And especially what you're saying is consistency will be key if they can maintain it. But then I also look at kind of going back, and I look at your defense as well, which has been a shambles for the best part of maybe 15 years, bro. But for once you actually have a reliable pairing in Gabriel and Ben White, where they're kind of yin and yang. One is the guy who wants to destroy everything, and the other one just wants to play on the ball. I think that's always the perfect balance. And then you've got two fullbacks, which I feel like are arguably the most reliable and consistent pairing, I would say, with Tomiyasu and Tierney. That's probably a core you can keep for maybe the next 5 or 6 years. And with Arteta being the one that's put it together, I think the future does look a bit more brighter. I don't think, obviously, you will be back to the great Arsenal that you were anytime soon. But I do think having fallen off kind of the way you have, just progression. This year, for example, if he doesn't get top 4, I don't think it's the end of the world. If he gets top 6, gets a cup or finishes ahead of Spurs again or whatever, I think that's progression. Next year, we move on. Now it's Champions League or bust. Now it's can we get into the title race?
I'll tell you why I disagree with that. I get what you're saying. Listen, the back line, believe it or not, has conceded more goals at this stage of this season than it did last season. We had Bellerin, David Luiz, and Kolasinac coming in and out for Tierney, right? And then we had Leno in goal. So we've got a whole new back line. Tomiyasu was very good defensively. He don't cross the halfway line. So then Saka is always isolated, and then he wants to come inside, and then Odegaard floats out to the right. So they're getting each other's way quite a lot. Nobody overlaps him. And I want to see a fullback that overlaps. But the reason I disagree with what you said about top 4 is not a disaster. If we had a proper manager in charge of this team, we would piss top 4. Even Arsene Wenger, who I can't stand, if he was manager from now to the end of the season, we're getting top 4 with that team. And this is why I'm getting the ump with how we've gone, right? Because it's always next year. If we had got Conte in instead of getting Arteta in and gave Conte £250 million, we would be in a title race this season. Yeah, and that's how instant it can happen.
I also thought we'd be in a title race, but we ain't in it no more.
Well, you are in a title race. You have said Man City, you're in a title race.
Would you have said that at the start of the season with that squad?
Say again, mate.
Would you have said that at the start of the season with that squad and the signings? Because even when I saw those signings come in the summer, I didn't think top 4 was even a reality. No. I thought for the first time this year, I thought top 4 was locked off to the big boys club again. Like the fact that United have dropped off has kind of opened the window for everyone. But I still thought Leicester were maybe a little bit stronger than Arsenal or Spurs. I think even West Ham
should be getting top 4. I said, but with this manager, we won't because he ain't good enough. I said, but with the squad of players we've got, they're not as bad as 8th place. Yeah, and I think if a better manager, if we swapped managers, we're now in top 4 comfortably this season.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But this is why I'm like so peed off of it. It's like I've waited 18 years to see a title. Last time we won a title, I was 22. I'm 40 this year. Like it's mad. It's actually mad, and that is our joint longest run in our history. By the way, by the end of the season, 18 years without a title, right? And our fans like say about Unai Emery, oh, he weren't great. He weren't great. But we sacked Unai Emery for coming 2 points off third and a Europa League battering in the final. Well, this guy's lost twice en route to a final and not got there. And one of them was to our former manager who went and won it, right? And he's finished 8th twice. So we've gone from Arsene Wenger getting top 4 in the odd FA Cup to sacking Unai Emery for getting us to our first European final since 2006 or whatever it was. And getting battered. And then I think we were 6 points or 7 points off 4th with 25 games to go when we sacked him. And then all of a sudden it's, oh, now this guy who's got no experience learning on the job, here you go, have £250 million. It just makes no sense.
Is that not going to be part of the teething process though? So like when anytime
he hates the word process, you don't say that to him.
Let me try to think of another word, but you get what I'm saying. There's always going to be a teething kind of situation where anytime you implement something new, and especially with him being a manager who's learning on the job, he's going to make those kind of mistakes. And I get that's probably what you're most frustrated about is like, why put a rookie in charge for a rebuild this side?
We needed a Conte, a Jose, or somebody that could walk in there, fuck shit up, an Ancelotti, somebody like that commands respect. It's no coincidence, right, that this manager has pissed off just about every senior player. Because he doesn't want senior players. He wants kids to say, yes, Mikel, no, Mikel, you taste lovely, Mikel.
But those senior players have also been part of your underperformance as well over the last few years as well, isn't it? So maybe that... No?
Pepe, Lacazette.
I mean, you did get slapped up in Baku. Like, the last time I checked, them senior players didn't bring home the trophy.
Yeah, that's fine. We got slapped up in Baku, yeah? Like, you got slapped up at our backyard. What's your point? Like,
what backyard is this?
Yeah, but then Conte changed to a back three, and then we slapped you up under Lampard. Like, it's the same shit. The difference is that was a final. Right? The difference is that was a final, yeah? In fact, we actually slapped you up at your own ground last season, so wind your neck in.
There was no medals that day. It's all good. It's only when the medals come we start to get serious.
The point is, Aubameyang's gone from being one of the most prolific strikers, not wingers, strikers in Europe, to being totally ousted from the football club. This guy, by the way, under Unai Emery, won the Golden Boot. Let's not forget that. And like I think Aubameyang being ousted out of the squad is his own fault. To be honest, I really do. His unprofessionalism has been on another level.
Well.
Totally disagree. But how do we know what he's done? All we've heard is he broke protocol.
No, I'm talking about the Tottenham thing. From the moment he turned up late to that game, done. Like, I'm sorry, you can't turn up late. This is not your shift at Sainsbury's where you clock in 5 minutes late and Mary says, "Listen, don't worry, I've already clocked you." On that basis,
then Lukaku should be done as well. Then, yeah.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm ready. Do you know what I'm saying? I haven't forgiven. Do you know what I'm saying? I've just been like, do you know what? That apology was PR. I said it on yesterday. I said, you know what? Do you know what? I feel like he was forced to do that, but he's obviously gonna have to do it because we've got to get to the end of the season. And for me personally, you know what I'm saying? I just see him as any other player now. I don't really have like some mad undesigning love.
In a big difference though, Aubameyang was Arsenal captain and Lukaku wasn't Chelsea captain. Do you know what I mean? He shouldn't have been doing it. I know what Lee's saying. Again, we don't really know the full story of it, but I actually think Arsenal look better without Aubameyang, to be honest. Ever since he's come out of the side and Martinelli's come in, I think you look better going forward. You look better as a pressing team. It gives you more energy. I don't know. I mean, I know you're coming from Lee. If he played number 9 and he played in his natural position, maybe he would score. But the problem with Arteta for me is particularly when he's got a lack of experience. And I do think he struggles with man management. He needs everything to go his way. He absolutely has to. And he's got favourites that have let him down. Xhaka let him down big time. He let Arsenal down. If you're going to look at anyone for losing that game, I would be looking at him completely because you can talk about game plans and tactics. I thought Arsenal got it spot on. I've not seen a team in a while press City the way that they did and stop them playing through. But when you're conceding silly things like that, and that's supposed to be a captain, that's supposed to be a leader at that time, it's stupidity. So it's all a bit mad. I think that is hurting Arteta, but in terms of selection, Aubameyang going out has been good for you, I think.
See, that's the thing is Guendouzi's gone because he had an attitude problem apparently. Well, France don't think he's got an attitude when he's playing in midfield for France, the best team in the world. Yeah. Then he's got rid of Saliba. Why? We didn't have to do 50 on Ben White. We had Saliba. Saliba and Gabriel would be a beast partnership.
Apparently, he's coming back next season though. So
if I'm him, I'm saying bollocks to it and staying in France, or Newcastle or somewhere. Like honestly, like he will clash with Arteta. Then Maitland-Niles. The way we've handled that is a disgrace. Right, £20 million from Wolves rejected. He sits on the bench most of the season. Then he puts an Insta post out this summer saying, "I just want to go and play football and be loved and like have some."
I felt sad for him. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Since then, he started 2 Premier League games, of which one he got man of the match and ain't been seen since. Now he's gone on loan to Roma. Absolute scumbags how we've treated that geezer. Nicola Pepe is the biggest one, right? There's something wrong with that guy. Yeah, in terms of his contract.
His ability.
No, shut up, man. You got the 1v1, you joker. You got Christian Pulisic, bro. Don't worry about Pepe,
listen.
He's in his purple patch now, isn't he? You can't talk about Christian Pulisic anymore. He's got his honorary goal for the season against the big team now.
Liverpool.
Did you hear the atmosphere when that goal went in? Jesus Christ, I'm telling you, the boards were slapping around. I'm telling you, the Yerdo and me was like, Pulisic, the best in the world.
He probably got injured in the celebration. Do you know what I mean? But no, Pepe, there's something wrong with that guy's contract, I'm telling you, because 3 different managers ain't played him. I don't believe that guy is not good enough. Like, he is definitely good enough. Yeah, but 3 managers ain't played him. He'll be gone. We've done 72 mil on him. I think there was something iffy with that deal in the first place because Ralstonelli got sacked, didn't he? For apparently, allegedly, I'm going to say that. We don't want you getting done for libel or anything. Allegedly.
My content creations has no affiliation with League on this.
But this is the thing. It's like every senior player seems to have an issue. Yeah, like Lacazette not signing a contract. Why? Why didn't you sign the contract? Because he don't rate it. He weren't in the team because Aubameyang was, and he was coming off the bench. Now he's in the team, and he's getting a few games. Whoopee, he ain't going to stay. He's going to go at the end of the season for free. Eddie Nketiah, he's totally mismanaged that. We rejected 20 mil from West Ham for him, and he's about to run out of contract.
Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. I can't wait to get one of the three
I don't think Corey's complaining.
Oh, my days. Can you imagine?
Let me play.
I do definitely agree with his man management. There are some issues. He almost has like an air of thinking because he worked under Pep and watched Pep for so long that he's almost got those qualities about him, not realizing that Pep had to put 10 years of being the greatest manager before he could move that callously and that kind of, oh, Yaya Toure, yeah, I don't need you. Oh, Joe Hart, yeah, I don't care about your 4 Golden Gloves. I think he's maybe got a little bit of that in him, which he hasn't really earned, to be honest. But what I will say is I do think of all those players he's kind of mistreated. Yeah, with the youngsters like Guendouzi and Saliba, I think he was a bit wrong. But with the others, I really think he needed to do that for the culture change. And I think having youngsters who are going to be choir boys, if you like, who bow down and listen to their head, that's maybe what he needs as a rookie manager, rather than having kind of more experienced, seasoned vets who've been at the club kind of undermining his position, if that makes sense. That's if he's going to be the successful long-term manager at Arsenal that I'm sure the board planned for him to be. But the way I see it is he definitely right now has got his guys in the first team. And I think the way what will be interesting is how he manages these youngsters. Is he going to give them the same callous treatment if they step out of line or don't kind of adhere to his tactics or whatever? Is he going to, again, disregard Martinelli if he goes on another dry little spell? Or is this kind of like now him saying, you're going to be the new kind of front man for my line? It'll be interesting either way. But I do think his man management is questionable.
Yeah, let me just blaze through some super chats as well before I lose them. Big up to the chat. I'm seeing all the support in there. Much love to you guys. This super chat here says, played FIFA 22 last night. I finally got used to the pace. Who are your dream managers? Lee is Diego Simeone. Who's Matisse and Fuad and Corey? I mean, for me, Thomas Tuchel. So one word answers. Fuad.
Safe answer.
Fuad, what about you?
I've already got my dream manager, but if I had to swap him out, it would be for Diego Simeone. Someone with cojones like that he's the kind of manager I would want to play for sure.
Corey, what about you?
I'm going to be a bit controversial. I'm going Klopp, mate. I know he does my head in, and he really, really gets on my nerves. Trust me now. Even I'm kind of bending towards the other way, but that style of football, mate, at West Ham. I think we were linked with him as well. I mean, obviously we didn't get him, but when he was out at Dortmund, I thought maybe he might buy into our project. The project of being 17th, 16th for 3 years. But it didn't happen. I bet he regrets it now, doesn't he? I wish he was part of it.
I hear the word project so much. I feel like I'm on a building site when I talk on these shows.
Project, process, structure, culture, they're all buzzwords. PR words.
You're building a shard in it or something.
It's mad, isn't it? Like it's a process. I hear it every day. It's like, mate, you do not use the word process in your day-to-day life. Yeah. How many times do you walk around saying to your mum or saying, oh, mum, do you remember the process that we went through?
I haven't done the dishes. It's a process.
I'll get in there.
You get a slap. I'm telling you, imagine doing that. Bro, if you did that in my household, listen, Matisse, do the dishwasher. Bro, it's a process, man. You got to wait. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I'll wait till a week Thursday and I'll come back and I'll load it up. And then I have to wait another week just to wait for it to grow some fungus on it first. And then after that, we have to strip away some of the ones that have gone too moldy and get them out the dishwasher. And then in a year's time, it might bang.
Josh Smith says, didn't Villa use their youth against Liverpool before? I can't remember.
Yeah,
they did, didn't they? They played Barry and everyone, didn't they? Yeah, it was Villa. Villa did a mad thing when they played Liverpool. I think
17-year-old kid scored for Villa that night.
Yeah,
16 debuts they gave that day.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was nuts. And they still won. Valen says, opinion on Vlahovic not wanting to go to Arsenal. Lee, I think that's quite...
I don't blame him. He's got ambition.
Well done on Sky Matisse. Shame they cropped out the apple juice. Listen, bro, do you know what's funny about that? Yeah, I was drinking a bit of apple juice before. Do you know what I'm saying? I was nicely seasoned for Fuad on Twitch. Do you know what I'm saying? Me was going to mash it up. It was going to be nice. I was going on lead judges afterwards. I was getting the apple juice rolling. And then the text came and I said, I have to go and get a glass of water and many jugs. Do you know what I'm saying? It was mad. It was very mad. But big up to you. I appreciate it. Wolves. Hey, London clubs. Big up, bro. Wolverhampton. You man are not doing too bad. I got a lot of respect for Wolves this season. You man are doing your thing. I'm not going to lie.
Man. Pedro Neto is going to be world-class, bro. That guy is so sick.
So large.
The way their manager speaks as well about the way they almost,
honestly, I think Moutinho and Neves the other night just controlled it.
It was like Xavi and Iniesta, wasn't it? It was just a piss take, man.
I love midfielders like that, man. I love it when teams can just control the tempo. Those two, like people forget about them because past couple of seasons, obviously Nuno's been so defensive, but they're players, mate. They're serious players.
Listen, I remember being linked with Moutinho for about 4 or 5 years at Spurs from like 2011 to 2015. I always wish we signed him. Such a classy player. And Neves, I'm surprised one of the big teams haven't taken a punt on him seriously.
Man, you would do him for him all summer, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
And they could do a lot worse than him because McTominay's dog shit.
Let's not get started on that.
McTominay doesn't even play centre mid for one of the worst nations in football.
I think I heard Paul Ince say that he should be captain. So listen.
Bro.
Everybody's got their opinions.
He's got the Man U DNA. That's the only reason.
Listen, he has got the DNA. I'm telling you.
Paul Ince before that game was also saying Raul Jimenez has some finishes like Lionel Messi. Bruv, that guy's got CTE. He needs to be checked. I'm telling you.
Yes, imagine Lukaku scores tonight and celebrates in front of Conte and says, "I love you, Chelsea." You man dream too much. Okay, that right there. I know you man love DreamWorks, but this is not the one. Close the production company. That's not happening. All right. He absolutely loves Conte. Like, I'm pretty sure they have text messages every morning. There's no way that's happening. All I need him to do is just be professional, act like a normal player, and that's it. I don't need all this extra stuff. Trust me, that's not happening. According to Robbie, Party is better than Kov. Listen.
William
I've been telling you, man, to respect Cover for the years on this platty and on Twitter. And everybody's like, oh, we can replace him and let's compare him to Gallagher and we can get him out. He's 27. Like, I think because he played at Real Madrid and he didn't get past the whole Modric, Kroos, Casemiro midfield, everybody says, oh, you were a bit sitting on the bench for those Champions League titles. Bro, that was a generational midfield. Like that's not really a massive insult. That's the next dominating midfield after Xavi, Iniesta, and Busquets in the Champions League. So people need to lay off, man. This brother is class. I've been saying it. He took the ball out of the sky like an angel. The goal was incredible. Like the finish, the technique. He had both his feet just slightly off the ground.
And then just 1 foot, he just went ping.
Yeah,
and they had the audacity to check VAR.
They should have walked off that pitch if that was cancelled. I'm telling you now, like I was like, football's done. Like if you're going to start calling goals off for that,
but VAR for what? I honestly don't understand. What
Rudiger, wasn't it? Offside.
Yeah, offside in the sight of the goalkeeper or some crap.
Right. Do you know what? Football's gone mad. Valens says Morata CV, Real Madrid, Juventus, Chelsea, Atletico Madrid, Barcelona. I am convinced that is money laundering. I don't know if Fuad, if you and Coach have had times to talk about this on the Lacoste, bro.
Bro, he is one of the biggest frauds. He's never been a main man at any club he's been at, and when he has been, he's been a complete and utter letdown, bruv. I've always never rated Morata, but for some reason people give him a pass because he's Spanish and he pops the odd goal in a Champions League knockout stage. Bro, the guy is a complete and utter fraud, honestly.
I'd like his agent, though.
We're going to get onto the Arsenal performance against Man City. I want to get Lee's take on that. I'm very excited to hear. Big up the panel. Thoughts on Harry getting the can? Who's Harry?
I don't know. I think he's talking about Harry Symeou. He's been destroyed on Twitter, apparently. I'm not on Twitter, but so people in the chat have been saying about it that I don't know what he's done. What's he done?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But talk to me, Lee. Performance against Man City. Are you proud of the boys?
Proud of a loss. But this ain't Tottenham, bro.
Hey,
friendly fire.
Hey, no disrespect, but
plenty of disrespect intended.
No disrespect.
Should have said respectfully at the beginning.
Shit.
Yeah, but proud of what? A loss. You're mad. You're mad. Listen, for 57 minutes, we were superb. Yeah, comfortably our best performance this season. but we should have been 2 or 3-0 up, and all our fans just want to cry and whinge and bitch, find out what part of the country all these referees are from, what teams they support. Oh, it's an agenda, a northern bias. Well, how did Chelsea win everything then? If it's a northern bias, like, it's ridiculous. I've seen more people crying about Mane from Arsenal fans than I have about Chelsea fans. Like, it's like that's our fan base. Yeah, it's ridiculous. The thing is, when you've got Granit Xhaka in midfield, it's always going to press the fuck it switch. Like, yep, I'm just going to go, right, I'm going to ruin the game now. Because that's what he does, bro. He done it against Man City at the Etihad. He slide tackled and 2-footed Rodri, straight red. He done it against Son, 2-footed Son in the penalty box penalty. Against Brighton under Emery, cost us top 4 by kicking the player in, I think it was the penultimate game of the season. Like, he does it all the time. The guy is a clown. He is easily one of the worst midfielders in the Premier League, and he's easily one of the worst I've ever seen at Arsenal. He can't do anything. What's he good at? What's he actually good at? Oh, but he can spread a 60-yard ball. Whoopee. So can Scott McTominay if you give him space. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's not like he's doing it on a regular basis. Like, he don't score any goals. He's got an odd pass on him. He's got a turning circle of the Titanic. Yeah, like if you watch that that penalty, our fans are saying it was a dive. No, he made a meal of it. But if you actually look, when Granit Xhaka plants his right foot, he was baby giraffe. It's all like that. Yeah, then he's dangled his left leg out. Their knees have collided. At that point, I still don't think it's a penalty, right? But as he's collided, he's then started to go down, right? Granit Xhaka pulls his shirt. He actually pulls him to the side as well, right? I've watched this a million times. He pulls him to the side. People go, oh, yeah, but you wouldn't keep falling forward if your shirt's pulled. No, he didn't. He got pulled to the side, and he fell to the side. It's a penalty. Up the other end, I've watched about a million different angles of that Odegaard one. It ain't a penalty. Yeah, no, it ain't a penalty. He's stamped on Ederson. Yeah, and the reason our fans are moaning about it is because they said, like, why did they go and check one and not the other? Well, because one was a clear and obvious error, one wasn't. You know, even now, we could all sit here, the chat would be 50-50 split on whether Odegaard's was a penalty. So how long do you cancel the game for to watch a camera? Like, to watch a TV screen? Because it's all subjective. It's an opinion, you know. And that guy who sat in Stockley Park thought, no, it's not a nailed-on penalty. We can't really give it. Whereas down the other end, there was a pull on the shirt. If he didn't pull his shirt, it ain't a pen. And then if he hadn't done that, Gabriel wouldn't have got sent off, by the way, because the whole pattern of play, it would have been a throw to us on the halfway line. Do you know what I'm saying? And this is why we won't get in that top 4. This is why I can't stand Granit Xhaka. He's got so many fanboys. It is mad. I don't know why. Yeah, like, one of my mates is Albanian. Funny enough, his name's Granit as well. Right?
I've got a story.
Even he's given up on him. Like, he's given up on him. I'm not even joking, bro. He's even given up on him. He said, I can see why you get the ump with him now. But having said that, there were some great performances. Saka stepping up now. He obviously watches my streams. And Martinelli had 5 shots out of our 7. He was quality, man. If he had scored that goal where he ran from our own half, that would have been goal of the season, man.
Do you think the one where he hit the post was the referee at fault there for getting in the way? How do you feel about that one? Because a lot of fans were starting to get pissed off with the referee blocking.
Our fans just love to be the victims, bro. For years and years and years, they sat there crying at Liverpool. Oh, you're always the victims. 30 years without a title. Yeah, now we've turned into what we were screaming at Liverpool at. Like, and calling them. It's
Manchester United fans are the same history.
Yeah, but this is the problem, right? The 2 fan bases that are like that are the 2 that had the longest serving managers, right? And 2 successful teams at that time that are in the mud, right? So a majority of our fans online, probably the majority, right, have grown up on the last decade of Arsene Wenger's lies and excuses. So it's now, oh, the refs this, oh, VAR that, oh, let's blame this, oh, how comes that didn't get checked? It's always an excuse. How about look at Granit Xhaka? Yeah, how about look at Gabriel? Rio Ferdinand nailed it. He said, if you want to be a top centre-half in this league, you cannot be doing that. Yeah, that was, and he said Diaz and Van Dijk would never have got sent off in that instance, because if you get sent off in that position, you've now cost yourself a title. You're potentially costing yourself a title if you're them 2 players. Yeah,
it was so unnecessary. He was on his halfway line. I don't understand what he was doing.
He does it all the time, mate. He done it against Southampton, against Walcott last season.
Like you could just press the person and then back off and then just keep your shape. You don't need to actually inflict any contact.
Brother, Old Trafford, he got spun on the halfway line by Rashford last season, right? Wiped out, yellow card. About 20 minutes later, Mason Greenwood's down near the corner flag, near our corner flag, does a drag back heel through his legs, nutmegs him. Yeah, and he totally wiped him out and he got away with that. And it was like, why are you doing these stupid things all the time? He's got previous, man. Like, and he'll get away with it because he's had a good season. Yeah, Granit Xhaka's getting away with it because it's the ref's fault. The ref made both penalties away.
Can I ask you? I'm not even trying to trigger you, but did he do anything wrong in that game from your point of view, from a managerial standpoint? Did you think he did well? Because a lot of the things that I see that decided this game is, refereeing incidents, individual errors. But from a tactical point of view, was you happy with the way he set up against Pep and the way he tried to go about the game?
It was AirPod Albert.
AirPod Albert, do me a favour.
I've triggered so many people by saying that. I said on my watch along, I said, don't you think that was mad that we had our best half of football all season? Then he had a Zoom call at half time and it capitulated. Yeah, people thought I was being serious, didn't it? Yeah, he had a Zoom call before the kickoff. Listen, Man City played 2 days earlier and they weren't great against Brentford. Let's not forget that. Brentford could have had a couple of goals in that game, on the counter. So, whilst we were great, they were way off form. Yeah, but that's what champions do, man. They find a way. And when we went down to 10 men, like I've said, that was our best performance up until that penalty that we've had all season. In fact, probably under this manager. Yeah, so clip that. There's some credit.
That's
Seriously, clip that because you're not going to get that off.
I swear, I was watching it thinking this is not the same Arsenal that I've seen for the past 18 months. I was actually shocked. I was thinking, what on earth is going on here? Like, I suppose you've got to give them flowers in that sense for the performance. I know City were off it, but I did think they got it spot on. It's Xhaka though, man. I'm telling you now. Like, the thing about it is, even if you wanted to really go for him in terms of, he can pass the ball, he plays vertically, he can hit this pass. What is it? I actually don't see what he adds that much to that Arsenal midfield. I don't see what Arsenal couldn't do by saying to Brighton, here's 40 million, we'll get Basuma next to party, and we'll just control the midfield. If that's the way that Arsenal want to play, and there's a lot of pressure on those two midfielders, and I don't think Xhaka's mobile enough to do it, he's a perfect player just to slot in.
Facts.
And it's mad to me, and I can get why Lee was so frustrated in the summer, because, look, Tomiyasu's done well since he's come in, Ben White's done okay, etc. Young players have done really well, but that's the signing. How many top clubs now? You look at Man United, they're missing midfielders. Everyone skirts over a defensive midfielder. We've got Declan Rice, one of the best in the league. Without him, we're struggling big time. Do you see what I mean? So I think that's the thing that lets Arsenal down.
We could have got Saliba back and put 50 mil on for Basuma.
Honestly, Basuma is so good. And he wants to play for you. Like, I think that's why Liverpool didn't go and get him, is because like Liverpool said to themselves, we want you, but then it sounded like he wanted that move to Arsenal. So I was like, all right, cool, we're just gonna lay off. The fact that you guys have not brought that man in, I am shocked, because he's so good. Like, I went to the Chelsea versus Brighton game last week and he stood out. Like, in that midfield, he was doing madness. Like, he was controlling the game, dictating the tempo, pressing. He's so press resistant as well. He's very difficult to get the ball off. He's a top midfielder.
Mate, there's 100% snobbery over some of these midfielders at the lower end of the table. Like, I look at Neves, I look at Basuma. I think, come on, like,
staring at bro, it's staring at you right in the face.
I know, but Basuma particularly. Basuma's played against top clubs. He's so comfortable in possession, so comfortable. And to be fair, on that point, I thought Thomas Partey had a really good game. That's a lot better than what I've seen.
That was his best ever game for Arsenal.
He was superb.
Noticed that the micromanaging manager wasn't on the touchline telling him where to pass it.
No, still get the
Arteta. It was AirPod Albert.
I told you to clip that shit up, people, because you ain't gonna get any more Arteta praise than that.
Mate, he micromanages all the way through the game. The only other manager in the league that does that is Sean Dyche. Yeah, everyone. When we played Brighton, Graham Potter sat there like that all game, just and they're playing us off the park. Yeah, our managers land in planes. Like, what's all about? Like, come on. Like, Thomas Partey had his best game for us, and now he's gone to the AFCON. And now we've got rid of Maitland-Niles on loan, so we're left with Granit Xhaka and Martin Odegaard.
Where's Oneni?
Lokonga now?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Well, fuck, you're screwed. Valen, with the super chat. I've got no inspirational words for you there. Valen, you're supporting the show mad today. Everybody give Valen a round of applause in the chat, please. Big him up, man. He's killing it. Honestly,
Well done,
he's
mate.
sending in super chats by the truckload. Really appreciate it. The LeBron James of football scored against the football club co-owned by the actual LeBron James, King James. What is that? That captions or exceptions? Is it? Yeah. Listen, bro, that's actually quite an interesting fact. It is. But yeah, that LeBron James. I don't know if you guys know the reference of the LeBron James of football. That was a clip that some American salesman was trying to sell this Pulisic shirt, and he called him. He called him the LeBron James of football. He said he's being compared to Messi and Ronaldo. And he said a lot of things that kept me up at night. Would you join the Super League if the guarantees proper unbiased officiating? Baffling how English refs are still one of the worst refs in the game. I'm against the Super League personally. I just don't like a closed competition where you can't enter. I think that's very disrespectful to the rest of the teams. And I think it's very disrespectful to football as a sport. Like you're meant to be able to compete with everybody and at least have the chance. We saw it with Leicester in the Champions League. If we had a closed competition, Leicester would never have played Sevilla in the quarterfinals of whatever it was under Ranieri. So for me, I'm absolutely like under the current structure of how they're trying to do it. Absolutely not. So yeah,
I don't even think it's biased officiating. I just think it's terrible. Like, it's just getting to the point now where it's dragging my soul to the floor every time I'm watching it. I don't know if you watched BT for the game. They spoke about the VAR decision for nearly half an hour, and I'm sitting there going, yeah, but they haven't called it wrong. And now we're getting to a point where now people are saying, oh, maybe you should leave it even if it is wrong. I'm like, why did we bring it in the first place? I'm just going crazy. Honestly, mate, it's so bad. And like I say, every time you see a ref go over to that monitor, it's game over. I've not seen one ref have a bit of backbone and say, do you know what? I'm going to stick with the decision. That's why it's fundamentally wrong. It's the blind leading the blind. So I don't know if it's unbiased. It's just dead.
Yeah. This super chat here says, Guna's talking about refs, not about Martinelli's miss.
Bro, our fans are the only fans. AFTV posted out for the Liverpool game that's now been cancelled saying whoever the ref was going to be with the eyes emoji. So I put it on my story. I said, why don't AFTV pick the refs for the games? That way there's no drama. There's always a drama. It's only Arsenal fans that talk about refs. It's like, oh no, this ref's in charge. Who cares?
We talk about it when we have Anthony Taylor, but that's about it. He's the one.
Other than Anthony Taylor, the only time I've ever seen Chelsea fans crying about a ref is when Didier Drogba was saying it was a disgrace.
Yeah.
It's a disgrace.
Big up. Really appreciate the super chat. But you're the manager with Georgie Dapper. Appreciate it. This super chat coming in as well. Appreciate it. Morning to all from Houston. Big up from the US. Really appreciate it. You guys always support. Matt, you didn't agree with my super chat at the Big Six about Ford Tetters sackable offense after City game. If you consider Arsenal a big team, ask my guy Lee Slanders. Standards people. I think for me personally, what I don't agree with I'll reiterate with the super chat. When it came to that individual game as being a sackable offense just because you lost, I think that personally I have to disagree with, because anybody can lose any game. Like, you can't say that losing a game is a sackable offense in isolation. Now, if you're talking about Arteta should have been sacked when they finished 8th last season, I completely agree with you. But not that game alone is that a sackable offense. I think if you're saying that, I think that's wild. But I mean, Lee, what do you think?
He shouldn't have got the job, and I want him sacked. we're wasting time here. Let's be real. We're wasting time. Right, let's just put it logically, right? If we get top 6 this season, let's say we finish 5th or 6th, we get Europa League football. Next season, we don't get top 6. The excuse will be we had European football. If we get Champions League, well, we were getting spanked. Our last Champions League game, we lost 5-1 for the 3rd time in a row to Bayern. Can you imagine this manager in Champions League? We're wasting time, bro.
I'm going to move on to West Ham as well. Josh, I'm just going to wrap up these and we're going to go to West Ham. Josh Smith says, Arteta fangirls says he brings stability. Valen as well, the super chat again says, why does the English FA kiss Klopp's ass? Big up. And he says again here, Chelsea are trying to get Emerson instead of Digne. That infuriates me quite a lot. I really don't think Tuchel rates him as highly as he's speaking publicly, but if he does, then fair enough. I just think if you rate him so highly, why didn't you keep him and then maybe move on Alonso? I don't know. It just doesn't really add up to me. But maybe he's just cautious of bringing new players into the squad mid-season and not messing up the environment. I don't know. But I personally would prefer Digne. I think he's a better player than Emerson. I don't think it's even a discussion personally for me. From what I've seen, I think Digne was one of the best left backs in this league. A couple of years ago. Last 12 months have been obviously a bit more difficult for him, and I understand there's maybe some hesitancy. But the guy going forward has got a lot more accuracy in his crossing and decision making and shooting. Defensively, he's a bit messy sometimes. I think there's question marks there. So I would prefer a loan deal for him. But I think he's definitely better than Emerson. I don't think anybody's gonna.
Kolasinac available.
No, thank you.
You've been trying to get rid of him for about 3 years.
He was in the team of the season in a back five, mate. So
no, I'm good. I really don't want him. He reminds me of Alonso. I'm really okay. Fuad, what do you make of this Digne Emerson thing? Do you think it's even a
I'm surprised nobody's gone for Digne, and the way Rafa Benitez has just kind of dashed him to the side, I thought is a little bit odd as well. But yeah, I'm surprised Chelsea aren't looking at that, because I think he perfectly fits the bill. Been one of the best left backs over the last couple of years in the Premier League, I would say. But I think, yeah, you lot should be all over that in my money. And I think, yeah, that loan with an option to buy, just to kind of see how he kind of takes it at this level, because his last big move was at Barcelona and that didn't turn out too well. But yeah, if I was Chelsea, I'd be sniffing all over that, because especially with how reliant you guys are on your wing backs, and with Chilwell going down the last couple of weeks, you've seen the real kind of impact it has, because going forward, you lot aren't the greatest, but the width, you lot need that to return for sure, because that's a big staple of Tuchel's style.
I'm going to save this question towards the end. But Corey, talk to us about West Ham, please. Crystal Palace, big result to win that game away from home. Palace have been, a difficult team to come up against. Just obviously seen Vieira doing what he's doing there with some of the young players and really rising up the South London ball, as they say. I mean, what did you make of it? Are you just happy to get in and get out?
Yeah, definitely. At the minute, I think I'll just take results over performance. Don't get me wrong. I think our performances have definitely justified us winning games, but we're talking very, very slightly. We were clinical against Palace. The quality of the goals as well that we scored. So happy to see Antonio get between the centre-backs for once and not play so far off the left-hand side. There's a time and a place for it. Lanzini's coming to his own as well, I feel, in the number 10. It's important now. Ben Rama's at the AFCON, so he's crucial. Defensively, though, mate, it is a real, real big worry on our left-hand side. I've watched Saka come up against Masuaku and dismantle him. Diop struggles when Masuaku's on the left-hand side. To be honest, when West Ham have looked comfortable-ish in games, and it's still not quite there, it's when Ben Johnson's playing at left-back. And he's half fit. Don't get fooled by the fact that he's back in this West Ham team. He's not sprinting. If it's a 1v1 and the player beats him like Ayew, he won't go for it. It's just purely positional with him. So we are playing with a half-fit left-back. And listen, we're gutted. The minute we lost Zuma, I think we could cope without Ogbonna, but losing Zuma... both of them together. Yeah. Just in terms of that communication with Dawson and Diop's a big problem. And I think with Diop, if anything, it's more mental. He ducked for the first Crystal Palace goal. I'm literally watching him duck. And it's affecting everything. It's not just Dawson who's having to pull up the space between him. It's Fabianski. Fabianski's not going out for the ball anymore. He's not trying to command the area. The whole thing is disjointed. And so in the past, if West Ham had Zuma and Ogbonna, and West Ham fans were going, well, we're too defensive second half, we're just shutting up shop. West Ham have done that loads in the past 18 months. The difference is we've been quite resolute. We had Zuma and Ogbonna. Yeah, well, look, everyone bangs on about Palace. And listen, I think Palace played a brilliant brand of football. We still would have shut them out and won 3-0. Maybe we would have got another on the counter. So it kind of goes against that. It's just the fact that because we aren't a team that can control possession and we give up the ball, if we are without it and we are defending, down that left-hand side, there's too many vulnerabilities. So it's a big thing. We've just mentioned Luca Dean. If he's not going to Chelsea, West Ham should be all over that like a rash. I'd get him in tomorrow. I'd have him and Creswell. I think that's serious depth for us. Maybe it presents a problem because Cress has been so good for us, and dropping him because he's been injured is a bit harsh. But I'm not in a position of sentimentality anymore. We are competing with the big boys for whatever reason. I do feel that we deserve to be there. But this board have got to back David Moyes now. They've got to back him. It's a striker, it's a centre-back, it's a left-back. Get them. The fixtures are kind to us this month in terms of rests and breaks. I think we can get to the 22nd against United away, which West Ham could go and win, and then you've got a 2-week break. So the fatigue's out the window, you get the players in, we reset, we've got Feb, and then we just go for it. But at the minute, fixture-wise, I'm not even looking at Spurs and Arsenal. They're false positions. Spurs could be clear in top 4. Like that, genuinely. So what's the point in us holding on? It's good that they could have dropped points. It's good that Arsenal did drop points. But we've got Leeds, Norwich, Man United, all games that West Ham could win. So as long as we win them, I can't complain. So it's just keep on going.
Are you confident that you're going to do something in the January window? Like, is there concrete links for those 3 positions that you're really looking for in terms of like really going in?
There are more concrete links with a striker than there has been previously. Moyes keeps his cards quite close to his chest with regard to a striker, and it was so frustrating. And we discussed it about Tammy. We should have got Tammy in at the time and taken a bit of a punt, or maybe he's not the perfect mould. We've been linked with Jonathan David from Lille. I know top clubs are after him, so to get that done, maybe if you throw a bit of money at it, 20-25 mil. Maybe. We've been linked with Barbosa for about 5 years from, I think it's Fluminense. So maybe there's more in that direction. I think West Ham, from what I gather, will spend money on a striker and will try and loan a left back and centre back. I think Zuma gets back early Feb. If you can get him back and you can get a couple of players, I think we want Nat Phillips, Luca Dean would be another one, and you get a proper number 9 in there. Like, with all due respect, if you got Nketiah, fine, you get a bit of a rotation option. I don't think Arsenal will probably let that happen now anyway, because if Aubameyang's at the door and they don't bring anybody in. But, yeah, the striker thing's a big thing. And ideally, as a West Ham fan, I'll be sitting here going, go and get players long-term. Don't look at them as, if they're proper permanent signings, make sure they're the right ones. Because I don't want to be stuck with players that we can't do anything with. We've got 2 in Arthur Mazuaku and Yarmolenko that shouldn't be anywhere near this West Ham team. They're actually a hindrance. I actually would rather play an under-23 player over them. So we've got to move, mate. We've got to show a bit of movement. Kretinsky's got to get that wallet out and spend. He's got to go and spend 40 mil. There's no excuse anymore. Like, this is the best opportunity we've got to finish top 6. Like, for me, I know we just spoke about top 4, but West Ham staying in Europe, I think, is probably the most crucial thing. So,
yeah. Fuad, whenever we're having Tobes on here as well, we always talk about Tottenham being like potentially in the top 4 race. And you see West Ham and obviously Arsenal. I mean, if we take Man United out of it, because I don't know what they're doing right now. Like, I continue to keep on Big 6 applying the pressure. I put it on their necks. You, man, have to make top 4. If you don't make top 4, it's embarrassing. And anybody else who makes it is a bonus and an overachievement. If you was to hang your hat, Fuad, on a team here on this panel, one of you 3 for top 4, who would you say right now is going to make it? Are you more confident than Toby for top 4?
No, honestly, I would look at it as a surprise if we made it, considering where we were on the Nuno, considering honestly the squad we have as well. I forecasted the end of last season that I expect Arsenal to finish above us this year, pure and simply because they don't have the European football. This is almost a reset year for them. I think you look at every team that hasn't had that year of European football, whether it's Leicester winning the title, Chelsea winning the title, Liverpool doing the SAS run. Those teams always benefit massively. I think the 2 bigger surprising factors are West Ham's ability to actually maintain this standard from last year, because previously, once they get that European football, they've always struggled to balance the 2 and have always tailed off a little bit in the league. But the quality this time to actually maintain that, I've actually been impressed by it. And I wouldn't rule them out as well. They stayed up until the top 4 race, up until the last maybe 8 games, was it last year, or 9 games? And then Leicester have dropped off a little bit this year, which has been surprising. And United, of course, have kind of opened that. But it's up to us to kind of take advantage of that. I think we've got the games in hand. We've got the manager. We've got a lot of things kind of in our favor. But I said this month for me is the ultimate acid test for what Conte can do at this club. And I can't bank us on being a top 4 base of this squad and purely praying that Conte is going to work miracles. Nah, I've seen the squad throw it up and fuck it up too many times. I'm sorry. So for me, I would probably put Arsenal as the favourites to get 4th, with West Ham and Spurs kind of fighting the scraps off that. I think United will kind of eventually fall off as well.
Do you know what? I think the transfer window is key for all of you guys. Like, whoever takes this transfer window seriously will probably prevail. Because I think when we talk about West Ham in particular, it's that distraction of Europe that maybe Tottenham and Arsenal, won't have, is the fact that you guys are trying to be in the Europa League. You're trying to push for that. And there may come a time where you have to choose. If you do keep getting to the latter stages, that dream of winning a European competition. Because remember, you can qualify for the Champions League via a trophy win. It's going to be very difficult. Barcelona are in there. Napoli. It's not going to be easy to win that competition. But if West Ham won the Europa League, I remember when Fulham got to the final and they lost to Atletico Madrid. I think Falcao did a madness to them. They beat Juventus in the semi-finals. Bobby Zamora scored a free kick. He was in incredible form that season. Danny Murphy, all those guys. If you were to try and eclipse that and do something like that, that would be incredible.
when
like,
he is never going to give that Europa League up. He never will. Like as long as we're in it, and we've done brilliantly to win that group and skip this round of 32 to get to the 16. I don't think there's any excuse not to go for it, because we'll know. I think we'll know. And look, I know the league's tight this year, but where West Ham are at in terms of squad depth, even if we're still in and around there come March, or even if we just tailed off or maybe we're 7th, he's going to go for it. He doesn't give up any cup competition. He didn't want to lose to Tottenham. I mean, we played all right against Spurs, to be fair. We weren't awful. It's just a shame that our squad depth is, like everyone has said, is letting us lag behind. But don't get confused, though. When that team was fit and it had Zuma, Ogbonna, Cress, Soufal, Ben Johnson, we were superb. We were probably the best of the rest. So that's all. I need to see that. But he's not... He won't throw the Europa League, and I wouldn't ask him to either. Like I've said before, a lot of times, I know we talk about places and where we finish in the league. For me, it's a trophy. If West Ham could do that, get a European trophy would be different class, mate.
You guys have to invest. Like, this is a huge opportunity, but there's some proper teams in this competition. Like the Europa League, when I was watching the draw, because obviously the Champions League draw was being redone because they fucked it up. So I was watching the Europa League draw and then the Conference League draw, and that was just embarrassing. But Dortmund are in this with Erling Haaland. Barcelona are in this. Napoli are in this. Real Sociedad, who are having a good season, I think, in La Liga so far, with Barcelona's obviously their decline. Porto, Lazio, under Sarri, Atalanta, who we've been hailing in the Champions League for playing great football. Italy.
We beat him in pre-season, mate. No fear. No fear.
Sevilla, Sevilla absolutely love this competition. So it's like, and this is the round of 32 that you're talking about. These games where they have to play each other. Obviously, Champions League dropouts and some of these guys. Like, this is huge. Like, it's some big ass teams in here, and we haven't even obviously named the guys that obviously top the group like yourselves. So if you want to win this, you have to I feel like West Ham are in danger of, if they don't reinvest in this January window, falling short of top 4 again, just slightly, and then falling short of competing for the Europa League just slightly when the going gets tough, maybe a semi-final, quarter-final. And that would be, obviously for you, very disappointing if you guys weren't able to do one or the other.
There's no excuse with a new owner. There's no excuse with new investment. Like, that's the way I look at it. I think they released the books the other day. West Ham have saved God knows amount of money. Like, don't get me wrong, Sullivan and Gold owe a ridiculous amount of money to go out of the club, but in terms of overheads, it's negligible. And Kretinsky's come in at the right time. He's got to get the wallet out, mate. I think the thing is with West Ham, the thing is with Moyes, we don't actually need that much money. We don't need 80 million, 90 million, as much as I'd like it. But we do need us to try and flex the checkbook at times. Because there will be players. You can't get everyone on a brilliant deal. Lingard, we did brilliant business for. You get a couple of nice loans, a couple of cheap players. Sometimes you just got to pay the money. And it's not just down to the board. Moyes has dallied with it as well. Like, I can't look away from that. He has... If he doesn't like a player or any facet of a player, he won't take a risk. He'll just wait. And so I'm thinking, Moyes has shown to me he's a good enough coach tactically and individually. You've seen players improve to take a gamble. Take a gamble. Like, there's no shame in it. Do you know what I mean? We are going for honours, essentially. We are in a conversation. So, yeah, we'll see. The meltdown from West Ham fans will be tremendous if we fail to get a striker. It'll be something. It's already starting now. We're 5 days in, and everyone's getting a bit tetchy because we've heard nothing. So, yeah, I know what to expect, mate. If it don't happen, I know.
Yeah, we're going to wrap up soon, but I'm going to get through these last few super chats and take some predictions off the boys for a few things. Nippon says, Lukaku disrespects Chelsea. Chelsea fans, get out of our club. Xhaka disrespects Arsenal. Arsenal fans, give this man a 5-year bumper contract. And yeah. iTest Merchant says, Lee... Lee still wants to leave after that video. I mean,
why are you pinning this for a second time, Matisse?
I'm sorry, but this is a super chat. Unless it's like madly over disrespectful, I have to ask the question.
Mate, listen, a lot of our fans want Calvert-Lewin, and he's very eccentric. You know, these footballers are very eccentric these days. Becky B, Calvert-Lewin, Saliba. You know, what goes on in the dressing room should stay in the dressing room. You know what I'm saying? So that video being leaked. Listen, they all share a bath.
It used to be the max you're seeing there is a Nintendo DS with some Super Mario. Now everyone's got fucking iPhones. Hey,
it's mad. You know they all share showers together and baths together and all of that. They're probably all crossing swords, comparing swords. Like, it's what it is. That's what boys do in the dressing room, apparently. Like, these days.
But Valen, I mean, this super chat from you is just. This super chat from you is it's made the chat laugh. I'm not even going to read it out. I just flash it on the screen for 2 seconds and then just like take it down. I'm not even going to even bother with you. You've had a lot of super chats, so I feel like I don't need to read that one out. I just leave it. Oh
I
God!
don't
And big
even know
up,
what to
Lee
say to
says
that.
one of the genuine Arsenal
Yeah,
fans.
come on, big up Velen, man.
Quick predictions. I won't do Chelsea Tottenham because it's the first leg and it doesn't really decide the tie. I'm sure the second leg will.
Thought we're
do that.
predicting Arsenal Liverpool this often.
No. I want to actually get predictions for top four. I want your final.
Okay.
I want your final top four predictions. First to fourth, and obviously you got to pick one of the fourth teams, obviously, and decide if Man United are gonna continue on this lovely drought that I'm sure we're all enjoying and injecting into our lovely veins. Lee, I'll start with you. What's your top four now, halfway through the season after looking at everything?
Well, the team I'm on loan to, Man City. I've triggered enough people with my Mahrez shirt. I don't know where them people were when we got slapped 5-0, by the way, because I didn't get any hate when I wore it in the 5-0 defeat. But the injustice is what it is. So City will win the title, comfortable. They've played all the big teams away from home, all the better teams away from home. I think Liverpool comes second, Chelsea third, Tottenham fourth. I just think that you can't rule United out, by the way. United have got a game in hand. If they win it, they're 1 point behind us. And they've been crap, like proper crap. And if they win that game, they're 1 point behind us. So I wouldn't rule them out yet with Pogba coming back. You know, they've still not got the right system. That 4-2-2-2. I mean, man's playing FIFA, bruv. Like, what's that all about? Yeah, and then he's playing Sancho on the left cam. What are you doing? Like,
Sancho looks awful, by the way. I can't even defend the gear anymore.
Even his goal the other night, I mean, he scuffed it in and he was crap the rest of the game. Like, but they're playing two pensioners up front. Like, you've got to play one or the other and go with a 4-2-3-1. Yeah, and just I'd go with Cavani. He's better on the press. Yeah, Ronaldo, he's just useless, bro.
Sometimes when you have pensioners, you have benefits. I'm not seeing any yet, but you never know.
You go. So yeah, that's my top four. I think right now, the way Arsenal are playing, I think that we're playing well, but I just see that Conte. What worked really well for Tottenham is having that break where they had 3 weeks without a game, because Conte just drilled them on the training pitch, and you could see that when they played Liverpool. Everyone was expecting Liverpool to slap them. Yeah, and they went out there, and on another day, they would have pumped 5 past Liverpool. Yeah, if they were more clinical, Harry Kane bags a hat-trick, Dele scores, like Son would have scored. You know, it could have been curtains. But yeah, I think their manager will be the reason. Yeah, all they've got to worry about is if Kane or Son get injured. But they don't tend to be injury-prone, really, do they? And if they are, it's just a little niggly one. So yeah, that's my top four.
I'm not sure where this is all coming from.
Mate, I've seen this. This is
but
mad.
I've seen this James Rodriguez with Ancelotti to Everton before, so I wouldn't rule it out. If this brother becomes an Aston Villa player,
Gerard Links.
Bloody hell, fam. That is a madness. Like, we talk about Lampard's pull power. This pull power from Gerard at Villa would be astronomical. It would be crazy.
Incredible.
Let's wait for that to be official before we talk about that. Maybe we'll talk about that next week. But that is nuts if that happens. Like, wow, that would be incredible. So your fourth choice is Man United, is it, Leah?
No, Tottenham.
Sorry. Okay. Fuad, what is your top four for the season there?
City title, runaways. I think Liverpool second. No, I think Chelsea second, Liverpool third. I think those two will probably put their priorities towards the Champions League at some point of the season. Fourth, I think United will carry on imploding, to be honest. I think every club goes through that period where they're consistently top four, but it's not until they drop out of top four that the reality hits them of how far shit's gone wrong. And I think United need that this season to get dumped out of the top four. I think with Spurs and Arsenal, honestly, it's splitting hairs. I just lean towards Arsenal because I feel like they've been more fluid and consistent. And I don't know how this January is going to go, to be honest. I think that'll be the biggest factor for us. I look at us and I'm just thinking, can I trust Eric Dyer and Sanchez to be solid till the end of the season? Can I really request Emerson to really step up that many levels? Skip and Winks to keep up those levels all the way? I don't know if I can rely on the consistency of the Spurs team, where I think Arsenal have kind of shown it throughout the season so far. So Arsenal fourth, unfortunately.
Okay, so
that's mad that we've both predicted.
Fourth from the Arsenal fan and Arsenal fourth
negative,
from the
they'll say. We're negative, they'll say.
Reverse psychology, that's what it is.
That's what it is, reverse psychology. And Corey, what about you for your top four prediction?
Come on, Corey,
Yeah.
give us West Ham fourth. Come on.
I want to. You know, it would give me no greater satisfaction to see
I actually love to see West Ham in the Champions League.
Oh,
I love
mate, can you imagine? People are hating it now, West Ham even being the conversation. Like, they just don't like they liked it last year when it was a fairy tale story. Now it's like, you've had your fun, now go sit down. But
Yeah.
I still think we'll still be competing. City going to win. I think Chelsea going to sneak second. I think Liverpool are struggling a little bit at the minute. Yeah, I think it'll click. I think Lukaku may click as well. Liverpool third. I hate it, but I think Tottenham might get fourth. I think it's just purely because of Conte. I think as well, our squad depth hurts us. I think Arsenal lack experience, even though they've improved. And even though they haven't got European football, I still think Tottenham will nick it.
No,
I don't know where we'll
even do we.
Yeah, exactly. But I think Conte's the biggest factor out of all of this. He's a world-class manager, mate. So I think that they've struck gold. Even I'm watching the telly thinking, why is he there? What was he there? He's there. He's just there with dusty trophy cabinets and lovely little beer that fills up and popcorn and Wi-Fi.
Why is he there? He's there for the money, mate. Let's be real.
It is confusing.
Hopefully for not much longer if Levy doesn't get that wallet out and help him out.
Hey, it wouldn't
It's only so long
me
Paratici can keep him
wouldn't surprise me if he jacked at the end of the season and went United.
You know what? The only reason why I say that probably won't happen is because Ragnick's going to be director of football, and I think he's going to want a certain type of coach that obviously does the press.
Mate, Ragnick might not even be there.
No, I think he'll be there. I think he'll be there.
No, long may it continue. It will work. Don't worry.
Valen says, big up you guys. Brilliant show. Rise to Chelsea. Big up, bro. Guys, this is the end of the show. I'm going to flash this up quickly. If you need any reason to follow Fuad on Twitter, that's it right there. That brother's tweets are fucking hilarious, bro. Make sure you follow him. But Fuad, listen, bro, big up for guesting and being the special guest today.
Come on, you're better than Toby, bro. Let him back on next week as well. Fuck Toby. Yeah, man's doing up Ghana, yeah, can't even be bothered to go and buy some data to do the show.
Splashing on yachts but not on data. It's actually mad. But listen, Fuad, big up for joining us. I really appreciate it, man, and coming on the show for us today. It really means a lot. Let them know where to find you guys. The link is in the description, and put it in the chat right now. Any mod, please. I'm gonna put it in there myself if I don't see it. Go and subscribe to Fuad. I want him on 2K for this show. Like, I don't want to play games here. Let's get it done. Fuad, let them know, bro, please.
Yeah, Fuad Kadani on Twitter, Instagram, all platforms. And then, do some Spurs stuff on YouTube as well. So, check that out. Yeah,
there you go. Guys, please go and subscribe. He's absolutely hilarious. The guy is always bringing charisma, comedy, but also insight to the game as well. You know where he's from. Stoppage Time TV. We spoke about it last season with Mayo on the preview gang. You know what I'm saying? They do great work. Huh? Yeah, honestly, they do great work, man. I absolutely love their dynamic. Culture Cams, all those guys. Well, we had him on the channel for United game. Go and subscribe to Fuad. He should be on way more than 2K. Get it done. The link is in the description. The link is in the chat. I think he's literally he's not even far, man. He's like literally a couple tens away. He's actually
10 subscribers or something.
Yeah, man. I get it done and make it comfortable. Do you know what I'm saying? Make it 3-0, not 1-0, not a 2-1 scrappy win. Make it 3-0, comfortable win. Let's push him above and beyond that. Get him as many subscribers as possible. And that would be what I hope you guys do. If you want to do anything for me to do today, please get that done. Lee, let them know where to find you, bro. Where to go. Is the vlogs? We still doing the
2K,
vlogs?
by the way, you're on 2K. There you go.
Love it. There we go. Big up the chat. Big up. Bless. Appreciate it.
I'm going live in about 10 minutes. The title of the video: "Crybaby Klopp gets our game cancelled."
That'll definitely get clicks, mate.
I'm going to have mad salty Liverpool fans coming after me, but I'll be doing that in 10 minutes. What time is it? 3:30 here, so 4:45. Then I'll be dropping 2 transfer videos later, maybe 6:30, 10:30, because obviously we're linked to loads of players. Gini Wijnaldum looks like it's going to be done as well, so I'll take that in a heartbeat. He's quality.
Okay,
so Project Youth, and we're bringing in a 30-year-old, 31-year-old. I mean, getting rid of a 24-year-old and bringing in a 31-year-old.
Well, that would be a good sign, I think, though. I must say,
he's class, absolutely class. I'm shocked he left Liverpool, if I'm honest. So
and they didn't replace him really. I think Harvey Elliott was meant to be the decider there with the creativity, but it didn't. Obviously, the injury, unlucky for him there. So guys, make sure you go and check out Lee. You already know at this point. Links in the description. You know Lee. Lovely show there with Eunice and Goonie the other day.
Yeah, big up Eunice as well. 100K, man. 100K,
yeah, man. Eunice,
18 months.
Listen, we're gonna have a celebration. All you can eat Chelsea. I'm gonna get some champagne for that. We need to celebrate that one. That's a mad milestone. Corey, let them know where to find you, bro. Please plug away. Big up yourself.
Corey Kemp _ on Twitter. So there'll be a load of Declan Rice prop, Jared Bowen prop, obviously. And then the West Ham Way YouTube channel. There's back-to-back Leeds content this week. Got Norwich, got 3 home games, so I'm buzzing to get up there. Fingers crossed I don't pick up anything in the meantime. And then transfer stuff that I'll try and drag myself to do, because a West Ham transfer window is like none other, where you're linked with the same player for about 3-4 windows. It doesn't work. Lingard will be linked constantly. So, yeah, if you want to have a look at that and see me get upset or really excited, you can have a look on there. So.
Mate, it could be worse. I'm still waiting for Jan and Via to pass his medical.
Maybe one day, mate.
Legendary news.
It's funny, isn't it? Like, these journalists that write these stories, yeah, they should be sacked. Right? They literally get 0.1% of these stories right. Yeah,
bro, there's some journalists I see out there writing for the Sun and writing for Mail, the Daily Mail. I don't even know how they're even journalists. Like the term journalism is lost on them, because the things that they write, some of the stuff that they write is actually proper embarrassing. Like I would be embarrassed to write some of the stuff they write. It's nuts.
Trust me, play a game, Matisse. Yeah, make a story up, right, about a player that's linked to your club. I've done this with Donny van der Beek. Yeah, went everywhere. Yeah, I said he was linked to Arsenal. Yeah, and then next day it went everywhere. I did on the channel the other week. I said, yeah, Nicola Pepe must have a clause in his contract that says that we have to pay Lille X amount more money every time he plays. That's why he's not playing. Next day, all in the fucking media. Make it up. They just make it up. They lap it up, mate.
I might even give it a go. Fuck it. I like it.
Just pick a story. Just pick some random player, like, I don't know, Choupo-Moting or something.
That's believable, though. Like,
well, yeah, his agent's fucking as good as Morata's.
Oh, God. Guys, smash up the icons. Subscribe if you haven't already. Big up your damn selves. If you didn't get to see, a lot of you were saying about the Sky interview, you didn't get to see it. Maybe you're in a different country or whatever. Understandable. Big up your damn selves anyway. I've put it in the pinned in the chat, so you can, the link is there. It's on my channel. If you want to just go on the channel, it's the last upload, and you can watch the full interview there from last night. So if you want to watch that, check that out. And yeah, watch along tonight for obviously the game against Tottenham, and then obviously the review video will come out. So I'll put the watch along obviously up, and you guys can check that out in a second. I'll put that up early. So yeah, big up you, man, and I see you, man, in a bit. Big up to everybody, all the panel, and yeah, in a bit, people. Peace.